Okay, everyone, it is Wick here, and welcome to the stream. Okay, and you want to say hello, Jess? Make sure they know you're real over there. Okay, guys, we got a real clinic for y'all in stop losses today, and what a better time to make sure you know how to use them, right? Okay, so first of all, let's talk about this. So in trading, I can honestly say that nothing affects my P&L more than risk management, which comes down to two things: stop loss placement and management, and position sizing. That's it. That's half of your whole game. If you guys have got the alpha bundle, you've got half the package already. You've got the entries. Now I'm going to give you the ways to exit. We already had ways to tell when the trend is weakening with the dots. So here's another way that is a quantified way to make sure that you capture the most of your stage 2 uptrends, because that is the goal of our trading. And we know that at Trading Alpha. So now let's dive into how we keep most of those profits once we make them. All right, so here is a chart of Bitcoin, guys. This is the monthly time frame. Let me go ahead and get rid of these notes here. And I can see that you guys are hearing me. Thank you for confirming that. All right, so first thing you need to know about these stop losses are they are explosive stop losses meant for explosive moves. Okay, that's the squeeze breakouts, dots bouncing off of the track line or off of a support. Those setups are exactly what these stop losses are for. Now, once we get into this, I'm going to add another form of stop losses into the alpha stops, okay? But not just yet. I want you guys to perfect and get comfortable using these explosive stops, and then we'll add the other one for things like the Bs that take a little bit more time and patience for that price action to really get going, all right? So looking at this, our first setup here is the squeeze shading on that monthly time frame. Here's the breakout arrow, and we want a stop loss that keeps us in the move, especially when we're making these big drawdowns. We don't want to get taken out of those moves. And let me show you exactly how I'm doing that and where my stop loss placement is. Now, I have to find out where that is. You can see I've done a bunch of testing here. So let's go ahead and see. I think it might be boom, right there. Okay, so here is one of the stops, guys. Now, what you'll notice is that this gets stopped out over here, okay? Now, you're gonna have two choices when you make your stop loss. You're gonna have a low risk tolerance and a high risk tolerance. Let me show you how you can edit that or change that. Hover above your alpha stops if you have them already. Go to your settings, and once you're in settings, this is where you change everything, okay? So as you can see here, we have a risk tolerance for high and short. In fact, let me see. Oh, that's going off of the Bs here. So you can see off of the Bs, it needs more time to kind of play out, but it still does an excellent job of keeping you in the move. We'll get some stop losses that take care of those Bs. Let's go to there's the Bs too. There you go. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Now look at these explosive stops off of the squeeze breakout arrow, and look at the stop loss placement here, okay? Almost gets tagged right there, does not get stopped out, and we're still in this move, okay? Even after all of these retraces, and these were huge retraces. I mean, all the way from 73,000 down to 49,000, that took most people out. Look at this one right here, 109,000 all the way down to 74,000, okay? Now, if you had the alpha bundle, you could have told that the dots had not stopped yet. So this trend is still very much intact. Okay, but this is how you have your safeguard. You put on that alpha stop loss and you enter it from the trade. So let me show you how I enter that trade. So you can see here that this squeeze breakout arrow was on December 1st, 2023. So what you're going to do is you're going to find the setup that you want to take. Let's say you're here right now. You see that breakout arrow. You take that long position, go to your stop loss settings, and just simply enter the date that breakout arrow is appearing, December 1st, 2023. So here we have December. I have it on the 2nd. If we put it to the 1st, you can see it prints a little 2 over here. Sometimes you just have to get in between those days. And here you go. Put the date in, 2023, and then your stop loss is set. Set it and forget it. And every single bar that prints, you'll print a new dot, and it'll keep going higher. Now, why does it do this? Because you want to force the trade to perform. If the trade is not performing, You want something that's going to take you out of that trade so that way you don't waste time and time value in a trade that's not performing, right? Because we can always rotate our capital into other stage 2 breakouts and uptrends. And if you're an Alpha Bundle member, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Our goal is to catch these parabolic advances, and we call them stage 2 uptrends. And if it's not performing, if it's not staying in the stage 2, if the stop loss gets hit, get hit, I simply just rotate it into another asset that is performing a stage 2 breakout. What I'll probably do is go to the alpha screener, look for another breakout arrow or bottom signal, search for those, and start a new trade on something else that's performing. Okay, so that's the whole purpose of the alpha stops, to keep you in trades that are making you money. Now, we've gone over this here on the monthly chart. You can see that it's perfect. I've not been stopped out yet. We just printed a brand new red dot, and the stop loss is at $67,000. And this has allowed me to capture the majority of the whole bull market, which, as you guys know, my first entry when I posted on Twitter was this confirmed bottom signal right here. You had another setup here, another confirmed bottom, and this was the third signal, the squeeze breakout arrow to the upside for all of our entries into Trading Alpha. Let's move forward, guys. Let's go to the next chart. Okay, now if you guys did get the vault, know that I have put this stuff in the Alpha Docs guide. For those of you that are new, we make a instruction manual that is extremely detailed. We have text, picture, and video for every single indicator in the Alpha bundle, and now we have this right here, the Alpha Vault. Okay, in the Alpha Vault, we're going to have our Alpha Phantom indicator. We'll go over this just briefly below, but today's lesson is on the stop losses, Alpha stops. We also do have 2 mystery indicators. This indicator will be released on December the 1st. Okay, and here's a couple clues as to what that indicator might do. On January 1st, we will release the second mystery indicator. This one is an interesting one because it could have something to do with cycle tops. Okay, perfect timing, guys. I'm working on that as fast as I can. Now, looking at the Phantom indicator, I've gone over it here. I'm not going to read everything, but just simply put, there's quite a few ways to use the Phantom indicator. I named it the Phantom because it really has a lot of facets to how it can be used in trading. Okay, so here's one of those ways. You can see that it helps you decipher when brand new market cycles are starting. This is Bitcoin, a long time, I think the weekly chart. You can see here's the bear market. We hit all these bottom signals. This is the only bottom signal here that actually confirmed, okay, with that green dot in the next bar. And you can see that the Alpha Phantom, all these purple bars below the green line, were all bearish. And this right here is where it flipped bullish. So a very, very good confluence to that confirmed B, letting me know that the whole market is now turning bullish. And as you can see, the Phantom stayed bullish the entire time that we've been in the cycle on that weekly time frame. Okay, so that's one way to use the Phantom, guys. I know this was about stop losses, but again, the Vault rolling out today, this is the other big indicator that is on release. Staying in trends or out of market volatility. Again, here you can see that the Phantom has stayed bearish this whole time right here, okay? I think this was Solana. I'm not sure. But you can see here, stage 2 uptrend. I'm pretty sure this was Solana. Stage 2 uptrend starts here on Solana, and you can see that it turned bullish right here, right on that first dot that broke. How about that stage 1 basing pattern? We can possibly get into the patterns right here, guys. I know that Alpha Bundle members know them, but everyone new doesn't know how we catch these stage 2s. That is the stage 2 breakout. And again, what a beautiful confirmation here with that Alpha Phantom turning bullish. Okay, moving on here to the stops, guys, because I want to get onto the lesson. Stop losses, we go over how to choose a long or short trade. I'll show you that here in a minute. We go over our risk tolerance. I showed you that there is 2 profiles, a low risk tolerance. For those of you that have a lower risk tolerance, the stop kind of climbs closer to the price action, so you have less room for drawdowns. And you'll have a high risk tolerance. I kind of like this one myself. You know, this is for those traders that don't mind a little bit of a bigger drawdown to allow that trade to kind of work out. Okay. Moving on, guys, you can see here's an example of that stop loss on that monthly chart that I just showed you. And let's start moving on. Okay. Oh, also, by the way, I will add another form of stop losses that I just talked about before. Again, these will not be explosive stops. These will more be for the Bs. Okay. So I'm taking care of everything. Moving on here to the next chart. Please know that we do have a sale, a 25% off sale. For those of you that are new, not Alpha Bundle members, you cannot get it today, but tomorrow it'll be on the website. You can go to tradingalpha.io, and this will be the Alpha Vault right here, okay? And make sure that if you go to check it out and you're new, enter that code 25 off during checkout for that Black Friday sale that we're starting early tomorrow to get that 25% off discount on the Vault. Guys, moving forward, let's look at Solana. Okay, so here is the monthly chart of Solana. I know a lot of you guys are in here. You can see here that we started the long position again from a breakout arrow that in Trading Alpha usually starts the bull market, right? We have very good indicators for timing the beginning of the bull market. So the entries are perfect. And as you can see, when we run the stop loss here from that breakout arrow, look how perfect this is, guys. It didn't catch you in any of these shakeouts and these corrections, and it stops you out right here. In fact, if you hover above the red dot, when it gets stopped out, the dots turn blue, and you get this label here to tell you where exactly it was stopped. So it was stopped right over there. Okay, what a perfect stop loss placement. In fact, this went from $165 after that, and it dropped all the way down to 95. Okay, now it could have dropped lower, could have gone into stage 4, and that's the point of a stop loss, is to protect those profits that you made in that stage 2. Moving on here, guys, NVIDIA. Okay, so here's a chart of NVIDIA. You can see here the same thing. Once we broke out in that stage 2 uptrend right here above the track line, started the stop loss, and it kept me in the entire way. Okay, now as we start breaking down here, I believe that this stop was right over here at around $117. We fell on this all the way down to a low of $85 on that support before bouncing. Now, what would you do in this scenario? Well, as you get a green dot reaction off of that track line, you would simply start another trade and start that stop loss all over again. Moving on to the next chart here, guys. We have Bitcoin on the weekly. Actually, let's go. Yeah, that's fine. So let's look at this now. Let's bring up some stop losses here. I think the first one is going to be, let's say, off that B maybe. Yep. Okay, so look here, guys. This is the stop loss. Let's see what this next one is. Perfect. Yep. So the red dots here on this tutorial that I'm going to show you guys will be the low risk profile. So you can see how if you have a low risk tolerance, if you have a lower risk tolerance, the dots will climb faster and make sure to take you out before you have too much of a drawdown. If you pick the high risk tolerance, it'll be a little bit more lenient and allow for that price action to play out. Now, this is exactly what you want, guys, because again, the name of the game is catching stage 2 uptrends that are performing and make sure that we're staying out of any price action that's just basing or in a stage 4. Okay, that way we can keep rotating into breakouts. Let's go on to the next setup. It looks like it might be this breakout arrow right here. Let's put on the next stop loss. And look at that, okay? Guys, these aren't form-fitted. I'm going through every single setup here with a breakout arrow. Perfectly does not get stopped out, keeps you in that entire stage 2 uptrend. Guys, I've built the perfect stop losses for stage 2s. If you've learned stage 2s, these stop losses are going to be the cream sauce to make literally just complete everything. Let's look at the next setup. I believe it's going to be this reversal candle over here after we go into a stage 2 uptrend. And look at that. Starts here. You could have started it right here on the confirmation. Same thing. Boom. Exits right there. Right there we have that drawdown. Perfectly catching 95% of that stage 2 uptrend. Next one's going to be this reversal. I'm going to go through the whole thing, guys, and then we're going to go through the daily time frame. This is the weekly. We saw the monthly first. Worked perfectly on the monthly. We've gone through every single one of the weekly now, and then we'll get into the daily. Boom, look at this. Starting right off of that R. Again, you could have done the next one on the next one. Perfect stop loss, catching all of that stage 2 uptrend. Okay, you're not going to find better stops than these guys. This is it. Moving on to the next chart. Let's see. Okay, why do I have those twice? That's both the weekly. Okay, looking at Solana. Let's look at stuff on Solana, some stop losses. Let's see. Okay. Here's a B signal confirmed. This is going to be low risk tolerance. You can see how it catches that up move and make sure that there's no room for some drawdowns. You sidestepped all of this headache right here. That's the whole point. Next one, this is going to be the high risk tolerance. You can see how they're different. Okay, high risk tolerance again allows more room for that trade to play out. Next one Boom. Okay, so you can see here if you drew a resistance, for those of you that are bundle members, you know this is a stage 1 basing pattern. If you drew your support and your resistance and box that out, that breaks out of that stage 1 right here into stage 2. And that is exactly where we longed, that stage 2 breakout. Start your stop losses. And again, look how perfect this is. Turns blue, stops you out. And again, guys, this is not cherry picked. I'm going over every single setup here. Okay. Next one, boom. Okay, I don't know why this one started from down there, but as you can see, perfectly placed. And even if it was placed here, guys, it would still keep climbing that same rates. Next one, boom. Okay, got that basing, break onto stage 2. Look how perfectly that is. Okay, moving on here. Let's look at Rocket Labs. I know a lot of you guys missed this trade in Rocket Labs. I believe we caught it from, gosh, I forgot now. Was it was $8. It was the $8 setup. Okay, but here is a reversal setup right here. If you take that stop loss from the reversal, look how perfectly it plays out. It's still not stopped. It would have captured all of the stage 2. Now, you guys know that even some of the big players that were in Rocket Labs exited right here. I'm not going to say any big names, but there were some big guys, and they actually exited right here, okay, long before all of this. Pity they didn't have the alpha stops. Moving on. Bitcoin, this is what the daily charts. Okay, so now we're going to go over all of these setups on the daily. This should prove to you guys once and for all, this thing works. All right, here we go. Breakout arrow. Boom. Look at that placement, guys. Everyone would have got stopped out here. Look at that placement. Perfectly catches 95% of that stage 2 on the daily. Moving on. Okay, here's your next setup after you go through all of this pain and drop down and get faked out. Boom, next setup takes you out, captures the majority of this. You have your topping signal confirmed. Boom, taken out right afterwards. Next one, guys. Confirm reversal right here. Boom, take that trade, put the stop loss on, set it and forget it. Takes you out right here. Captures 95% of that stage 2 uptrend, which we'll talk about. I'll tell you what, we'll go over the stages for those new people here and tell you what a stage 2 is and how to identify those, which will make sense while we're trying to capture most of them with the stop losses. Is that all of them? Let me see. I think so. Let's zoom out here. Okay, so here is the next setup. You got a confirmed reversal. Boom, you start the trade. Here is the long stop losses. And you can see here the red is the low risk tolerance, taking you out before the high risk tolerance. Both of them, again, capturing 95% of your price action. All right, guys, I don't want to bore you because it's not going to change. This stuff is going to work on every move. Breakout arrows, starting the long position, the long stop loss, captures 95% of that stage 2 uptrend before you go into all of this pain. Catch the next breakout arrow. I mean, guys, I don't have to keep going on, right? I don't have to keep doing this. Oh, look at this one. What a beauty. Look at this one. Stop loss, first green dot breaking out of that stage 1 basing, boom. Or it could even be stage 3 basing, boom. Keeps you in this entire move, 95% of this. Guys, no one's catching these and staying in these moves like this. This was the point. And I've had these indicators. If you notice, you see how it says wick stops. It doesn't say alpha stops. This has been my personal indicator that I've used for many years. This is how I manage my portfolio. And I have not really given too many sneak peeks at the stop loss. For those of you that have been following me, I've been kind of keeping it under the radar, but here it is, guys. Next setup here, I believe this was the confirmed B. So to see how it does in the Bs, does okay. But again, I'm going to get another stop loss to do even better with these setups that take a little bit more time to play out generally, okay? Here's the next one. Boom, we go into the stage 4 downtrend. We start basing in a stage 1 basing pattern. Here is your breakout into stage 2, closing above all of this resistance. That's your entry. Long position, there's your first green dot. And we take out, again, 95% of that stage 2 uptrend. All right, guys, here you go. Confirm reversal, bullish reversal. Start these stop losses right here on the confirmed bar. And we captured 95% of that price action. I'm going to look for some feedback here in a minute, guys, because if you're as impressed as I am, you should be understanding that this is the way. This is what you guys needed in that alpha bundle. This is the key to perfecting it. Here you go. Breakout arrow captures 95% before a bunch of topping signals. It's almost like these stops were made just for you guys, right? Just for the Alpha Bundle members. I think that's it. I think I ran out of room to add actual indicators here. We went through so many stop losses, but I promise you it'll do the same here. It'll do the same here. And it'll do the same here, guys. All right, let's see what we have next. By the way, do I have any questions? I've been going on here for a minute, so let's take just a 30-second break. And if you have any questions at all, please put them in the comment box. And also let me know if you're interested in me going over the stages at the end of this video. If there's enough people that say yes and request it, I will go over and teach you guys the stages as well. It can be a review for you bundle members and a new experience for you guys that are joining for the first time. By the way, guys, if you do like the stream, this is what I do for Alpha Bundle members, and now Vault members get these exclusive streams, and a lot of times they are very, very informative. It's not just going over the indicators that we just came out with. All right, so let's see. I'm going to be reading the comments here, guys. Give me a minute. What up, Trippy? I appreciate the love, man. Don't worry, you'll make it. Wick, can you set alerts? Wick, can you set alerts on those indicators? Yes, to answer your question, you can set alerts on any of our indicators, okay? You simply just go and you right-click and you add an alert for the HTF-CUT right there. It's already signaled it. So yes, these reversals, you can get alerts for when they print. You can get alerts for when the breakout arrows print, the bottom signals, the top signals. You can even get alerts for when the first green dots print. Okay, so yes, everything that we have has alerts for them, and they're very unused. It's probably the most undervalued a part of our tools, is that a lot of the bundle members just don't remember. But yeah, alerts are definitely the way to go. Can't decide on the Vault or the screener. Oh, that's a tough choice. You know, I've put a lot of work into that screener, and I've got a lot of great ideas, guys. I wish I'm just going to toot my own horn here. I wish I had someone just guiding me like this when I started. Yeah, the screener is fantastic. In fact, I'm going to be adding top 10 coins on both fundamental and price action, and it'll just give you the top 10 in the market. And the formula that I come up with for that is phenomenal. I won't get into that. I don't know how to answer your question. Both Vault and Screener are fantastic. Do you want to hit the screen button and put bottoms, and it gives you all the bottoms that are currently performing in crypto, so you can just pick the ones you want? Or do you want a way to get out of your trades efficiently like this? I mean, both are very valuable. Moving on to the next question here, guys. Yeah, I can recommend both. Kfetti, I appreciate that. And thanks for being so engaging, Kferetti. I mess up names so bad, but I appreciate you, brother. You give me so much engagement on Twitter. Subwick, the Alpha Vault, absolutely fire, multi-year member. Thank you for being a multi-year member, Firefly. I appreciate you. The problem I have is compression phase. How does identify compression? I'm sorry, Punty, I'm not sure what you're asking. Same question as above. Can we integrate it with Coinbase to automate the stop losses? I'm sure you can. It'll take work with the API from Coinbase. So yes, you should be able to do that. This is the sauce, Wick. Yes, guys, this is it. If I'm using alpha stop losses on the daily, do I manually reset the stop loss on the trade itself when market resets? Okay, so they're asking, let's go to a different time frame here. I'll tell you what, let's go to the previous charts. Okay, so they're asking, whenever the stop losses hit, do you have to reset it again? Yes, whenever you see a setup that you want to take, like say, let's say this confirm reversal, you have to choose and say, okay, I'm taking this trade, and you have to go and put in the date. It's the small things like this, guys, that you have to be able to just, I'll be honest, not be lazy and do. It's the disciplined traders that are the ones that survive. And trading is about surviving. It's not about killing it, actually. It's actually just about surviving. Survive and you'll get rich, right? You just don't want to blow up your account. So yeah, every time you see a alpha bundle setup or Alpha Vault setup, you will reset those stop losses on every single setup, okay? I'm using, let's see. I'm assuming you have continuously updated stop loss on the trading platform you're using. Not sure what you're asking. Wondering too, can you show us one that is just breaking out on a reversal that we can follow? TJ, if you go to my Twitter, I posted ones that were just breaking out and the stop losses were just starting. So if you want an example of that, it's definitely on Twitter, and I'll be posting more now that the cat's out of the bag. Wick, thanks for this. Can you talk about shorting the market, especially short? Okay, so guys, if you want to enter a short setup, let's just pretend there was a topping signal here and you wanted to enter that trade. You would simply just go to the stop losses. You would enter the date. Let's pretend you entered the date. You would pick lower risk, high risk tolerance. I like high most of the time. You would enter this. 1 second. And then you would simply just switch this to short. Okay, and the short stop losses will start and just go downward, the opposite of these. Okay, so that's exactly how you use the stops on short positions. You just flip that to short, enter the date, and it'll start going down instead of up. All right, let's see. Can't tell you guys how valuable this is. I've been wanting. Okay, so guys, you want to know something funny? When I first started trading alpha, I didn't have trading alpha. I made these indicators for myself. I got developers. I told them the logic that I wanted, and I made the tools for myself. And I struggled on whether to release it or not. I didn't want to release my secret sauce. I almost felt like I was giving you guys something that was mine. I'm so glad that I did because I got so much out of teaching you guys. But again, the stop losses are the same thing. I've been holding on to these, and I haven't wanted to share them with you guys. But you know, it's always the better decision that I found when I do share them. So yes, guys, I have not released these for a while. Yes, on stages. Yes, please, on stages. This is really nice. When you have an option position open, how do you consider? So guys, I have got a lot of questions with options. It seems like a lot of people are just now kind of like, you know, realizing that options are a much better way to leverage than going on those leverage exchanges because there's simply no liquidations, right? Imagine that. Imagine having leveraged positions and there's no liquidations, right? Yeah. So leverage exchanges suck. You go to a regular exchange and use options. But the question was, when you use options, guys, nothing is different. You're still looking at this price action, try to decide where it goes. And that doesn't change for options, right? The only dynamic that is different with options is that you're setting an expiration date. You're trying to look into the future and say, by this date, I bet you it won't be above this level or it will be above this level. So, but you're still using the same techniques that we go over. All comes down to price action on a chart. Depending on how far you are out on the option trade, you will pick a different time frame. So if you're like 2 to 3 weeks out, you're looking at an option expiration 2 to 3 weeks out, go on the daily chart. That's a swing trade. If you're looking for one that's 6 months or a year out, go to the weekly or monthly time frame. That's a long trade, right? A long-term trade. So that's how you tackle options with charts. You change the time frames depending on the expiration. Dependent on the expiration. Moving on here, guys. Wick, would it be? Where would a base the stop loss indicator? Okay, so this is another good question here. I'm so glad that this person brought this up. So they're talking about the stop loss placement. So let's go, which stop is this? Let's look at which stop this is real quick. Okay, so know that if you don't like the labels, you can also go and turn the labels off, okay? Here you go. All right, so let's turn that label off just to look at this. And his question was where the stop loss starts. Okay, what was the actual question? But it was where the stop loss starts. Know that if the stop loss starts lower than you are comfortable with, right? If you look at this and go, oh man, that's a big margin for dropping. You know that you can adjust that based upon your risk tolerance and still follow the dots afterwards. Like, so for instance, let's say you look at this and say, you know what, I'm really not comfortable with my stop going below this red line. All right, so set your stop loss there. If you're uncomfortable, set your stop there. And once the dots cross over there, then just switch to the dots and just keep changing it, right? If you forget one, no problem, right? But just know that you're risking the profit, and just every now and then make sure that you readjust it. All right, but you can definitely start closer to your setup if you feel uncomfortable with that much drawdown. Okay, so know that. But again, you are risking that it might just wick below and go up. All right, so know that the starting stop, you can always adjust yourself and just pick up once the dots cross that point. All right. Another thing that I want to talk about is let's go to Bitcoin here on the monthly chart. This is a good point to make here. So going to the monthly, we know that my secret sauce here for judging when the bull market was on was the dots, right? So you guys have heard from me. Stay in the bull market as long as the dots are printing green. Ugh, I've got the wrong stop losses on here. In fact, yeah, guys, just wait 1 second. Let me get the right chart up here. Where is Bitcoin monthly? There's the lab monthly, lab monthly. Here you go. Okay. So as you guys know, we are long as those dots are printing green. So this is how you should think about this, right? Think about these as two totally different indicators and think about them for what they are. The dots are your trend on a micro scale. On the smallest scale, it lets you know whether it's bullish, whether it's turning bearish, whether it's neutral. So it's your soonest indication that that trend might be changing, all right? So if you look at this, we still have green dots. It's still bullish. Let's say those dots had to end, right? And that's to end, and you still have the stop losses down there. You have to decide yourself, am I in so much profit that this is life-changing, that it's okay with me just getting out of the trade because the trend is weakening? Or do I want to keep a quantified stop loss? And that is something only you guys can decide, all right? A lot of times I'll start paying attention if we lose those dots, and I'll look at the red stop loss, I'll look at how much money I've made and say, okay, what I'm leaving on the table, is it worth it? Okay, that's how you guys get to a logical decision. And you want to have confirming ways like this to make the right decision. If you only have two choices, trust me, that's a lot better than not having any indicators wondering what to do. Okay, but a lot of the times, the red dots are what's going to force the trade to progress. So once this goes into a stage 3 basing pattern, this could keep those green dots until it really weakens, right? But the stop losses are going to take you out. It does not want to see a basing stage 3 pattern. All right, so hopefully that helps you out there. Let me go to a few more questions, guys. I know this is dragging on here. So the stop loss indicator starts, okay, the entry. At the start of the move, if the signal is invalidated, do you have to stop below the signal bar or that early move? I think this person's asking if the stop loss hits on the wicks. Yes. So if this had to wick just a little bit lower, this would actually get stopped out and turn blue. A lot of people thought that this was wicked out, but if we zoom in here real close, it was almost wicked out, okay? But yes, it's not on the close of the bar. If it wicks down past the dot, this will turn blue. It'll stop printing dots. It'll give a big signal here to say that you're stopped out. Can you show the wick on the recent liquidation that was performed? I don't even know what asset you're talking about. I love being an Alpha Bundle member. Thank you, Wick. This is genius. You're very welcome, guys. I'm very happy to. It was a cool day working up towards this to share this with you guys. Any advice on setting initial stop loss when entering calculated position size? Any advice on setting the initial stop loss? Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what I said, right? Set the stop loss. That's where my comfort level is. If yours is a bit tighter, then pull it in tighter and then work with the dots again once they start going above your initial stop loss. I still can't use my stop loss. Have logged out, but not there. Phantom is, but no stop loss indicator. Carrie, this is the first time that we've heard about this. It might be an issue on your end or on Jess's end. What I would do is just anytime you have an issue like this, write Jess at manage@tradingalpha.io. Her whole job is to sit there and just take care of you guys and make sure that everything is working properly. So definitely write her if you're having an issue with those stops, and we'll get them right back to you. Yes, above looks like the entries. Okay, alerts stopped out. Looking forward to joining tomorrow. You're the best. Sorry, guys, just working through these comments here. How can we integrate a stop loss indicator on SEX? I told you guys, you have to look at that, the APIs, and see if they allow it. What is the difference between the screener and the vault? The difference between the screener and the vault is the screener is not on TradingView, guys. The screener is a separate product that we built on our own server, and it is not like any indicators. What it does is it searches the whole market. It searches either the crypto market if you want crypto, it searches the stock market or the currency Forex market, and it'll scan all of those assets, all of those stocks, all of those cryptos, and only look for the setups that you are asking for. And we have everything in there. So if you're just looking for the green dots first printing just one green dot, you can put that in there. It'll scan the entire crypto market, and it'll give you nothing but assets that are just printing that green dot, or the Bs, everything that we have above the track line. So that is the screener, much different than the vault, which is simply just an upgrade to the Alpha Bundle indicators. Okay. Oh, why my chart's acting funky here? All right, guys, moving on. Magic seems like SMA 30. Yeah, you wish it was a simple moving average. You guys are very welcome to go and put that up against a chart. This stuff is complicated, guys. It's not anything you're going to find just by putting up a moving average. The magic seems like, okay, for us traders, what platform do you recommend trade? For trading guys, that's up to you. A lot of guys that if you want to trade stocks, they use Interactive Brokers. That's a good one. Charles Schwab is another one for stocks. And as far as crypto goes, if you're in the US, then you're probably using Coinbase or Gemini, right? Unless you're going to one of those leverage exchanges and using a VPN. All right, what is approximate percentage of the stop loss? It doesn't work like that. Guys, it's not going to be that simple. You're not going to be able to just look at the dots and see, okay, what percentage are they increasing, right? It's calculated much more complex than that. Like I'm telling you, if you're going to try and back engineer this, guys, you're going to have a very tough time. What does the stop loss stick to the ticker you entered on, and will it show up on the tickers? Okay, yeah, so the stop losses, right, once you set them, they will stay there. Okay, so it's up to you to manage your stop losses here. Okay, trust me, I lived through it. Hey, Wick, happy Vault member. I noticed the stop losses are basically for a single asset at a given time. If I have multiple trades to play, how would you handle that? Yeah, you just got to open different window panes, guys. I mean, it is what it is. If you have a setup here, you can just manage them here. If I was you, you could always upgrade your TradingView subscription. Like on mine, I can have as many indicators as I want, right? It just starts to go off the chart, not showing them. So, okay, let's move on. Appreciate you. So David asks, I'm never selling into strength. So this has nothing to do with a stop loss per se. But yes, if we're in a stage 2 uptrend like this, I'm never selling a stage 2, right? That's the rule. You never sell stage 2. You never buy stage 4. Okay, stage 4 is the downtrend. Very simple rule. What is the average percent? Okay. Okay, guys, let's see now that I've gone through most of the questions here. Let me make sure I've got nothing left for you guys on the charts here. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it, guys. All right, let's see if I've got anything else to mention. Okay. No, I think that's it, guys. So if you have any more questions, I'll take just 5 minutes, but that's it. That's how I use stop losses. That's what we've created. Again, if you do want the Alpha Vault, for those of you that are listening, it will be available tomorrow if you're not already a member. We do have a queue, meaning that Jess here is working Saturday because it's not automated. She has to manually enter all of these Vault indicators and send them to you guys. All right. So there's a huge queue. We woke up this morning and there was literally like 570 emails. Okay. So she's working through this. If you've sent an email, just be patient. Trust me, she'll be working until 12 o'clock tonight. Paying her a lot of money to get this stuff for you guys. So just hang in there, guys. We're working the best we can. Let's go over the stages and then we'll wrap up this stream here. You know, a lot of you guys want to learn the stages. So here we go. So in a normal cycle, right, you have 4 different stages. You have your first stage, which is called your stage 1 basing pattern. And again, we teach this in the Discord, guys. If you're an Alpha Bundle or Vault member, just look for the channel. There's a channel there that has all of my lessons in like this. So first is your stage 1 basing, and it comes after the bear market. Eventually, you start hitting a base. You start hitting the support, you hit the resistance, and you form a sideways channel, okay? Usually around this time, we get a squeeze shading to let you know that we're about to go into stage 2. That breakout arrow comes, and you break above that resistance, okay? So this basing is called stage 1. Once you break above the resistance, this right here is called your stage 2 breakout, okay? That is the perfect time to enter every single trade. It's also what all of our indicators are literally designed to catch. All right. So we break out here. This is a stage 2 breakout. This is your entry, and that starts your stage 2 uptrend that goes parabolic. Okay. This is our goal as a trader, is to keep catching these stage 2s, rotate out of them when they end, and rotate back into stage 2s. It's that simple. And that's what the stop losses allow you to do. Eventually, though, we'll start finding a little bit of a peak, losing some steam, hit that resistance, hit some basing, maybe hit that resistance again, support, a little bit of a deviation. This is called stage 3 basing. It is exactly the same as stage 1, okay? Just a basing pattern. Now, after stage 3, or during stage 3, this is very important. This is usually when you want to start doing some risk management. You've made that profit on the stage 2. You've caught it perfectly because you got that breakout arrow or that bottom signal. You caught that breakout, that stage 2. But this is where you want to start tightening up your risk management. Let's say you have a stop loss right here. Maybe you want to take those dots, if the dots are right here on the stop loss, and just temporarily raise them right below there, okay? Because what happens is the stage 3 can go into what we call a stage 4 downtrend, and that is your bear market. And it drops a lot faster than we climb. That's why everyone always gets caught off guard like that, okay? We take the stairs up, we take the elevator down, okay? Now, what also can happen here, I can't go to the left anymore. What also can happen here is it can also instead go into a stage 2 breakout again and start what we call a continuation stage 2 uptrend. Now, during the stage 3 basing pattern, okay, sorry, I'm skipping steps here. A lot of times what I will do is if I'm in a lot of profit, I'll think about taking 50% of my position off the table and just leaving the other 50. That way, if it breaks below, my stop loss takes me out the last 50. But you might say, okay, well, Wick, what happens if we go into a stage 2 uptrend again? Simple. You treat it like a brand new stage 2 breakout. You buy that right there. This is called proper risk management. This is making sure that you put the odds in your favor of riding your winners and cutting your losers short. And now that you have the stops, you have an even more efficient way to do that, especially when you marry it with the stages that I just taught you. Okay, all of our indicators, all of our teachings are all meant to help you trade these better and stay out of stage 4s, which is this, and rotate into stage 2s as much as you can. All right. Are there any questions on the stages? And then we'll wrap up this and call it a great stream. And thank you guys for coming. Let's hear it. I'll give it 5 minutes, guys. We'll have some questions and then I'll wrap up and let you guys go and use that Alpha Volt. Play around with it. Yes. So ABC says enter on a reversal bottom signal or first candle close above the high of the reversal bottom signal breakout. Okay, so that's a great question. So what you'll find is once you join the Alpha Bundle, you will read the docs guide, and we have a simple rule on our candle signals. That is, a signal is only confirmed if one of the next 2 bars close above the wick of that bullish candle. Okay, so this one did confirm right there. And of course, this bottom signal also confirmed the next bar. And that's how they work. This reversal candle, turquoise are bullish, yellow are bearish, did not confirm because neither of the next 2 bars closed above the wick of that topping signal. So that's how you play confirmed reversals and confirmed bottom signals. And by the way, guys, if you do have the screener, I have put in there where we can actually search for the signals or the confirmed signals of everything as well, just to put that out there. Let's see, any more questions? What do you look for on stage 2 breakouts? Well, I just told you guys, you look for a basing pattern, stage 1 basing. You draw that resistance above, you draw that support. It's now in a sideways channel. Once it breaks above that resistance, okay, there's a few things that we teach Trading Alpha members to look for, but that breaking above that resistance is our first clue to the fact that this might be a high probability setup. All right, guys, thank you for joining. I appreciate your time. For those of you that have got the Vault or waiting for the Vault, just be a bit patient, but now you know how to use it. And please also know that, again, I'm going to add another feature into the Alpha Stops, and we will have another stream, and I'll go over those examples again, just like I did here, okay? We're also going to release 2 new indicators on the first of the next 2 months that are coming, guys. And again, anytime that I have beta indicators that are testing in beta, you guys know how I keep it for 2 years, right? The Bs I showed you guys for 2 years before I released it. The stops was for 3 years or 4 years, okay? So for Vault members, whenever I have an indicator that I'm beta testing for you guys, I will release it to you guys because I think this will be great because then you can give me feedback on what you think of it and what you want to see done to it, okay? So that you Vault members get that little nugget there. All right, guys, I appreciate you joining. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you on the next stream. If you aren't an Alpha Bundle member already, I hope you join, and we will have that Black Friday sale going on tomorrow. Guys, I'll catch you on the next chart. Cheers.